Check this out, boys. What the heck is that about? You guys won't believe what we found with the 240. A little context here. I got this car back in September of last year. I think late August, early September of last year, right? And I got it as a seat time car. It was pretty prepped and ready to go, but the whole time I thought it sounded kind of interesting. I thought it sounded like it had this exhaust leak, and it definitely did. No spoilers, but it had a major, and when I say major, like it had a major problem the entire time. This car is an SR20 swap. I'll explain, I guess, in the end of the video and maybe in the middle what's going on here, but it didn't have the engine we thought, didn't have the turbo we thought, and the whole thing, I don't know how it survived. I've got some driving for you. I was successfully somehow able to drive this car for the whole season. Here's some drifting footage, and then finding a really weird issue with the car. Today I'm out in Oklahoma City at Mac Park with the turd. So I worked on this thing till like 9 o'clock last night. Got here in Oklahoma super late. Last time I was here, I was testing a super grippy setup, and it was before I started using Accelera tires. So I'm kind of interested to see, for one, how the shakedown's gonna go. I tried to clearance as much as I could from the fronts, but I'm probably gonna end up rubbing and breaking something up there. And I'm unsure how I'm gonna clear back here with these new wheels, but I think everything should be okay. We're also using, so these are 255 Accelera PHIs, so these are a little bit less grippy, and I'm running about 45 PSI in them to try and get them to spin. We're gonna test out the PHIs. I'd like to use the 651s in the rear with probably a little more stretch. And speaking of, Accelera actually is redoing their pricing for the 651 Sports. They're really good for like if you want a grippy daily, or even like the 100 tread wear for a time attack car or track car or anything. These tires are awesome. The new pricing is amazing, plus I have a 15% off code for you guys to use as well. So Accelera is super based. I also have the truck tires I got from Tire Streets as well. So if you go to the description, I got a link for you. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out on the track and start ripping and see what happens. Shouts to Adam for the wheel. Last time I was here, I was using this nasty, the old crusty. After the car sits for a minute, I can pull the thing all the way back and it won't even engage the brakes. But if I give it a good pump before I start, it seems to be working. I don't want to have to use it, but it's obviously something that is very useful, especially for getting used to a new setup. I don't want to look dumb, so there we go. So you got some pressure now. Let's go. The car's actually doing super good, and these PHIs, they have enough grip to where I can at least control the car pretty decently. And the tire wear is amazing. I have 2 extra sets in the truck, but I might not even have to. This track's also super good on tires, but the PHIs are doing good. I don't normally like to run super grippy fronts on a setup that I'm not comfortable with, but it seems to be working out really well. I'm gonna put one more GoPro on the truck, or on the car, and maybe try and get some footage. Also, just a side note while I'm looking for another battery, this is my first time at this track with any sort of angle at all. I drifted this 240, dude, with bone stock angle, bone stock SR for 6 months. I'm gonna say it, dude. Buy yourself a super stock car, put some coilovers on it, and just thrash it, dude. scratching my wheels. So I lost my rear bumper. It's gone. I have pushed my luck for today, so we are loaded up. At the last run, I was giving somebody a ride along. My power steering pump, I'm pretty positive, just went completely bad. I'm gonna go ahead and load up, hopefully get that fixed this week, and then get back to the track as soon as possible. These PHIs were really good. Literally, the whole day, I probably did 30, 40 laps. It's a pretty good tire. I do want to do the 651s, like I said, in the rear, but I need to fix a exhaust leak that's pre-turbo. Is like super, it's not good to have that. Exhaust gases aren't even getting to the turbo to spool. I'm probably down a lot of power right now, and I have a link ECU, so like getting a tune, the right turbo, I don't even know if my turbo's still good on this car, so getting everything kind of set up and figured out, like this car's gonna be so much fun. But yeah, pros to drifting a low horsepower car, right there, boys. As you can see there, I was driving the car okay. And this is why I kind of didn't think that the car had a major issue, because I'm like, well, I'm able to link a track really well. I mean, three tracks I went to. I had a successful day every single day I went to them. But here's the thing, like I was on, like these HPIs are not really meant for drifting and for grip, but I was somehow gripping like crazy on these HPIs. Random foreshadowing. Because that was the last event, or the first shakedown event of the season. I was gonna say the first. It was the first shakedown event of the season. I wanted to test the suspension components. I didn't have my BC Racing coilovers. We installed the BCs, and I've actually had a track day, and they feel good now. But I was like, I know this exhaust leak needs to get fixed, especially if I'm gonna be driving in the LZ Fest. Even in a stock SR, I need as much power as I can get to try and keep up with these guys. So let's go ahead and try and figure out this exhaust leak. So with that being said, here's what we ended up finding. We just picked up the car from wrap, and I am so excited how it turned out. The daughter loved it. A few people definitely had to take some pictures on the highway, which I always feel bad because it's kind of a traffic hazard, but we're here at Trackstar. I'm gonna have them install all the new goodies. I'm not sure if I've actually had you guys listen to this exhaust leak before, but you can hear it like immediately. The downpipe had a wastegate dump on it, even though it's an internal gate. So I thought exhaust was leaking out through there. My key broke off. What? Anyways, here we go. You can kind of hear it, like there's a very tinny sort of airy sound coming from the engine right now. It's also a huge reason why under no load, the AFRs are reading like high 19s. They read very, very lean. Hopefully I don't scrape nothing.
You look very pretty in the pink.
Oh, you like it?
Yes, I like it.
It's the same color as the SC.
Is it? I thought it looked pretty similar.
It's Gabby's favorite color, so
nice.
I had to do it for Team Girl. I'm excited for Trackstar to handle this. Again, the car's never driven correctly, and that makes me sort of excited about it, because like I've learned to drift on a car with maybe like 150, 200 horsepower. It certainly doesn't sound good, and it certainly as well will not perform well. It might be the reason why I've had to clutch kick so much in all my events, but it'll be kind of nice feeling a car that, like, even on pump gas, might get up to 300 horsepower or so. By the end of the video, we'll see. New setup. That's hot. I love it. Where's the old one? You didn't throw it in the trash. Oh, it's just that ugly. Check this out, boys. That's how we were driving, apparently. What the heck is that about? God dang, man. It was probably already not installed correctly when I started drifting, but I'm sure me sanding it wasn't helping. If this car has a so-called bottom end, why do you have the cheapest freaking gasket of all time? Like, spend a little bit of money and get a metal one, call it a day. This is actually considerably a considerably larger turbo. That is hot, dude. This is gonna be an absolutely new, insane car to be driving next time I'm at the track. It's a little fudged. I wanna know what power it was making.
About
85 horsepower plus a little if you know, on a good day. Guess we'll see what we can make on this with that, the new turbo, and a link ECU. All right, before we leave today, Wyatt's 1JZ swapped Hilux, and I want to give it a little quick dyno run here. Look at this thing, man. Dude, 305, 324 through 33s. Wyatt, your car's amazing.
Appreciate it.
It's nice to meet you too. Everybody, good luck at the shop. I have got to get on some stuff today.
The first time I ever took this car on a drive on the street, I was like, there is no way in hell that SRs are this slow. And like, it's weird because like my butt dyno really only works above like 400 or 500 horsepower, because you know, you hop from Supra to Civic to this to that, and you just kind of get numb to the slower stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe it is just slow, but no, it really was just so much worse than a stock SR. So with a tune, this thing is gonna be a monster, dude. I mean, my driving is going to literally be completely different now in such a good way. I do not know how I was able to drift for an entire season on that setup. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm actually kind of stoked because I was probably making 100 horsepower, maybe 150. There's 0% chance I was going into any sort of, is this thing smudgy? I'm sorry, is it smudgy? 0% chance I was going into any sort of boosts, but that's a good thing. I really was able to learn on low horsepower. I wanna give you guys, so usually I give you guys life advice. I'm gonna give you guys some advice for if you wanna get into motorsports today. This is gonna integrate into my daily advice, right? So years ago, I had the issue that a lot of people have. When you wanna get into a motorsport, you wanna spend as much of your excess money as you can on building the coolest car possible and making it fast, making it prepped. If I can give you one piece of advice for drifting and for driving, it's stop overbuilding your car. Buy a car that's bone stock. Even if it's extra slow or has less horsepower than normal, drive a stock car for as long as you can. This car had less power than an SR20 should, probably less power than a NA KA20 should. It had 0 angle. I had no angle for the first part of the season. I had regular, super beater wheels, tires, very simple setup, and some beat up coilovers that I had to swap out because they're making noises. So you'll learn best when you stop overbuilding things. I ruined my drifting by putting too much time and money into the SC300, and I ruined my drifting because of this car. All I wanted to do was spend money, and for one, I wanted to make content, but I kept overbuilding cars. You don't need angle when you're starting out with drifting. Instead of spending your money on angle, build a PC sim. Spend your time getting seat time. Mods will never make you better. An engine swap will never make you better. Horsepower will never make you better. If you learn on these things as well, it'll give you a crutch at a later date, and you will have missed something super important somewhere along the lines. And so my advice for you guys is honestly get a sim. That's the best way. It sounds expensive, but it's the cheapest way to get seat time, and it's the best. Don't overbuild your stuff, guys. Learn from me. It's not about how well the car is built. It's about how good you can drive based on whatever you have in front of you. That's my advice for you guys actually today. With that being said, I'm really stoked that I was able to learn on this car, but now that it's fixed, you guys will see that next video. I created another new issue, and that is the tires that I was having to use. So that's kind of funny. Hey guys, I just want to say I love you guys so much. If you want to support the channel, a big way to do that is by going to 53supply.com. We've got a bunch of very comfortable merchandise for you. I mean, we got hats, we got hoodies, we got shirts, we got mouse pads. Just go check it out. Banners, decals, helps us out a bunch. If you guys like the channel, if you guys like my videos, go check out the site at least. Just go see if there's anything that you might want to add to your arsenal. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.